Okay, last class we are discussing about access specifiers. Okay, access specifiers are used for what? To specify scope of class and members of the class. Yeah, so the class can have two types of access. A class can have two types of access. What are the two types of class? Class can have two types of access. What are the two types of access? One is default access. The other one would be public access, public type of access. So for default access, no keyword. But for public type of access, public keyword. It's a keyword given to you by Java. Now what do you mean by default? Default access means here class cannot be accessed in another package, cannot be used in another package. Here class can be used in any package. So class can have only two types of access. Clear? Now coming to members of the class. The members of the class can have what? How many types of access? They can have four types of access. Members of the class can have four types of access. What are the four types of access? Private type of access, default type of access, protected type of access, public type of access. So this is the type of access. Okay, to support this, Java is giving you what keywords? Keyword provided by Java. Private type of access, private keyword. Default type of access, no keyword. Protected type of access, protected keyword. Public type of access, public keyword. Now what do you mean by private type of access? Private type of access means only within the same class. Go dead opposite. Public type of access means any class, any package. Here only in the same class. Private member can be accessed only within the same class. Public member can be accessed in any class, any package. Default member can be accessed only within same class. Can be accessed by any class, same package. It can be accessed by any class. When I say any class, what do you mean by any class? Subclass or different class, but within the same package. So 1, 2, 3 clear. Last left is what? Protected. Protected member can be accessed by any class within the same package, but by only subclass outside the package. Okay, one more way I can tell. Default, protected, public. All the three. Default, protected, public can be accessed by any class within the same package. All the three can be accessed by any class within the same package. One more way of telling it. Okay. Default member, now outside the package difference comes. All these three can be accessed within the same package, by any class within the same package. Default outside the package, no. Public outside the package, yes, by any class. Okay, but protected only in subclass. Another way of looking at it. Understood? So how you want your visibility to your members of the class, you can provide it. Understood? And remember this one, final. If your class is default, full class is not accessible outside. Now sometimes class will be default, but member will be public. No use. You are not able to get the access to class. So first you get the access to class, then you access the member. Understood? So if you want a member to be, class to be accessed outside in another package, mandatory, first it should be public. Understood? Then you can go with either protected or public. Outside the package I'm telling. Public is mandatory for the class, and then it should be either protected or public. Protected means only in subclass, public means in any class. Done? Okay, that's it. So then I introduced you this keyword. So I introduced the package keyword. Then one more keyword what we saw was import. One more keyword what you saw was import. Import. Now what is the use of import? We'll see. Supposingly I write on class box now and I'll put it into one package P1. Okay. So if I want these members to be accessed in another class, another package, so what is the first rule? Make the class as public. Say I want to access one member of this class in another package. So this is package P1. So if I want this to be accessed in another package, what should I do? In package P2? Okay. So I'll use it now here. Class demo. So one is I can go with fully qualified class name. P1 dot box B is equal to new P1 dot box. Like this you can create, and then you can access SOP, or I'll name it as B1. B1 dot W. This is how you can access it. So this is actually called as fully qualified class name. So if you want a class in one package to be used in another package, get the point. Mandatory class should be public, and you should use fully qualified class name. Create the object, and then you can access only public members. Public members, that is W. Okay, but you cannot access default member and private member and all. Okay, that's why you'll continue. So this is one thing. Next, one more thing what I want to tell you is, if you do not want to use the fully qualified class name, then you can go with import keyword. Import P1 dot box. So this will help you to avoid using fully qualified class names. That's it. So this is simple name now. Instead of that, you can go, if you do import, this is the case number 1, this will become case number 2. Box B2 is equal to new box SOP P2.W. That's it. Understood? We are using simple name. This is simple name. So I'll type and show you this program which I wrote in the last class. Okay, about all the access specifiers. Let's see how it works now. Shall I clear all this now? So I'll continue with that package examples which I had created last time. Go to that location. On this I'll delete. I'll create a new one. You can see this now. So new Java project 03 Access Specifier. Okay. Okay, now here, as I told you, the industry standard practice of coding. Industry standard practice of coding. In one Java file, you can have many classes. In one Java file, you can have many classes. Like I wrote 3 classes in P1 package. A, B, C are in which package? In P1 package. So I can write only one package, and in only one file I can write all the 3 classes. Understood what I'm saying? See, I'll do this now. See, I'll create a new package. New package P1. So here only what I can do? I can write on new class, and write in this file only I can write what? All the classes, but that's not recommended. Okay, so always practice this style. Class A. Okay, this is industry standard way of coding. Every class will be kept in a separate Java file. Till now many have used Eclipse, I know, but that's a very bad practice of coding. Okay, always every class should be stored in a separate Java file. So it is ready now. Okay, I think that public static void main was enabled. Delete this. So now see, Eclipse will always create by default what? Public classes. By default it will create it. So if you want, you can type now. PRI. I'm teaching you Eclipse also at the same time. Don't think I'm typing the program. Program you know, I know. but I am telling you how to put the program onto Eclipse now. Understood? Private int w is the value I had used 10. Next, this one is what? Default. So if you want, so this is what you can comment private type of access. So if I want private type of access, what did I do? You have to comment like this, private type of access. Then next, int x is equal to 20. So this is what? Default type of access. Put maximum comments. Tomorrow you will only understand your own program. Understood? Then if I want, means but for default type of access there is no keyword. Next, if I want the protected type of access, I'll use the keyword. First you have to understand what do you mean by type of access. You're following now? And you know all the types of access now. So use it. Then next, int y. Public int z is equal to 40. Yeah, now we'll access these members. Where? Inside the same class first. So I can write on method void show a method. See here what I'll do is, I think I'll enlarge the screen now. Okay, it will be comfortable for you. So I'll write sys out inside show a method of class A. Show a method of class A. Okay, now I'll print one more thing. Accessing members directly without creating an object now. So I'll do that now. Sys out. See now one by one I'll start typing. Okay, I'll print W. Fine. Similarly you can print all. Which one? I'll change it to Y. You can access. You're accessing what now? See from the concept point of view. You're accessing the private member inside the same class. Correct. You're accessing the default member inside the same class. Correct. Protected member inside same class. Correct. Public member inside the Y. W, X, Y and Z. All members you can access directly. That is obvious, all of us know that. But now let's try to access the members by creating an object. Accessing members by creating object. A object is equal to new A. A dot W. So now we'll see object, no sorry, obj dot W. Again more comments you can write beside that, whatever you feel like. So here what's happening now? You're accessing the private member inside the same class by creating an object possible. You are accessing default member inside the same class by creating an object. You are accessing the protected member inside the same class by creating an object. You are accessing the public member by creating the object. Now if you have a question, why should I create an object of the same class inside the same class and then access the member? You know why you do it? Supposingly if this method was static, what will you do now? To access the instance members, you have to create the object. Understood now? See, static member can be private, protected, public. Understood? Static members can be private, protected, public. So instance members can be accessed directly, but instance members, sorry, in the static context, you can access only what? Static members. But here you are trying to access what? In the static context, instance members. That's the reason you have to create object. Are you following now? Okay, fine. Next. That's how you do all this R&D while typing. Okay, anyway, this class is ready now. Next, what we have to do? We have to type class B. Now, class B also I can write here itself. but logically you should not do it. What we do in industry, sorry. Okay, so in industry what we do, again we go for I want a new class now, but in the same package. I want a new class in the same package. So what will I do? I'll click on P1, new class. Which class name? B. Disable this public static void main. Okay, say finish, but it should extend here, sorry, extends. B is a subclass of A, no? Okay, now here I want to access what members? Same members. So I can copy paste this. Okay, so what is the method name now going to be? Show B. You can give any other method name. Okay, now see, private member cannot inside show B of class B. Okay, then I cannot access what? Private member, right? Comment. Cannot access private member directly. Cannot access private member by creating an object. Right? Comments. Understood? So like this you have to observe all this. So program is ready now. Class B extends A, but it is in same package. Getting it now? Fine. Next, I want to write which class now? C class. C class will be in the same package, but C is not related with what? A or B. It is independent class. So right now, right click, and one more thing, make your members method as public, because you want to call this method in some other place now. Make all your methods as public. Fine. So now I'll write C class, right click, new class, which one? C. Fine, it is not related. See, here is the option you get, public and default. By default all your classes Eclipse is creating will be public. Understood? So I'll say finish. So now see, next, same story here. What will I do? It's a different class, so I can copy paste this method, change the method name to what? Show C. Inside show C of C class. So accessing members directly. So you cannot access any member directly in a different class, even in the same package. It can be only accessed by what? Creating an object. Done now? So fine. So 3 classes over. Next, what do you want? One more new package. So create new package. Click on SRC. What I'm doing here? Every time you want a package, click on SRC. Click package P2. Then what? Finish. So then new class. You can do like this also. See here, extending. Which you want the super class here. You want it to be of what? Click. Type only one letter. The short. It will shortlist. A. A belonging to which one you want. So many classes are there. These are built-in classes which come from the library. So that is the advantage of this editor. Okay, because it will supply you the library very easily. In Edit Plus, Notepad and all, it's very difficult to use libraries. So I'll be showing you how to use the Eclipse for coding. Okay, so I'll be picking which one now? A from P1. I'll say okay, then you say finish. Now D extends A automatically. And see here, it is importing also. Did I import? It is helping you. Otherwise, you know, if you don't do import now, you know how you extend. You have to extend with fully qualified class name like this. This is also valid syntax. P1.A. Valid. So whenever you want to use one class in one package, another package, it should be used with what? Fully qualified class name. Because when you put a class into a package, it is linked with the package. The class cannot be used without the package. Either import it and use simple name, or use fully qualified class name. This looks headache now. So that's why what we do, import. Understood? So anyway, I'll just bring it back. We'll go with this itself. Okay. So then, means what am I showing you? Coding you now. Eclipse. Learn Eclipse. How I'm using Eclipse. Focus on Eclipse now more. Okay. So again, I have to write code. So what will I do? I'll take this code. Let's see. What is the method name? Show D. Which one? Show D method of class D. We are accessing the members directly. What all members? Private I can access? No. Protected can I access? No. We cannot access private and, default. Private and default cannot be accessed in subclass. It is there. Member is there, but I cannot access. Okay. So a member is present, but I cannot access. Here now by creating an object, we cannot access private, default as well as protected. You cannot access protected member also by creating the object. Fine. This is ready now. So class D is ready. Next last class is which one? E, but again that will be in P2 package E. So finish. It is not related to anything. So okay, I'll take this now. E class. What is the method name? Show E. Inside show E of class E. Yes, now you cannot access any member directly in a different class in different package, but I can access only public member, that too by creating an object. So all your code is ready. Understood? So now what I can do, I'll write the client code. Now client code you can write in P1 package or P2 package, but I'll write it in P3 just to show you how we go on increasing the packages. Understood? Concepts you should learn. You can write all the code in one place and get the output, but you should know how to actually code. And we are now moving on to industry environment. Slowly I am carrying on to the industry environment, because when you go to industry now, you will be seeing one Eclipse folder like this, and in that around so many files will be there. You will be wondering so many files are there. So I am just putting you into that environment now, slowly, by writing simple code. Understood? Most of you have already coded in Eclipse, I know, but the thing is you are writing all rubbishly. That is wrong way of coding. So this is the accurate way of coding Eclipse. Understood? Coding in Eclipse. So right, see now, src new package. What is the name? P3. Give. Okay. So then P3. In P3 what I want? In class. So I want a client demo for this package. Client for what? Access specifier. You can give any name, that's your wish, but better you give good names like this. Make it a practice. Okay. Make practices to give very good names to classes. They'll be very helpful for you. Okay, fine. Now let's start coding now. I want to work with what? A class. So to work with A class in P3 package, first A class should be public. It is public. A class should be public. So now see this. A, but I cannot use it directly here. Either I have to go with what? P1.A. This is valid. P1.A. A is equal to new P1.A. But why do you want to use fully qualified class names? Question is that. So this is fully qualified class name. This is valid. I'm not saying no. But instead of this, what you should do? Better you go for import. Directly Eclipse only will import. A, control space, enter, variable name. I'm not typing. Simply I'll say control space. It will generate the variable name for you. Is equal to new A. Okay, now which is the method there? A dot. See, this is the method. You type yes. In fact, it is giving the list of all the members of which one? Visible members of class A. What are the visible members of class A? Means so many members are there here. Equals, get class, hash code. So these are the methods which are present in class A. But where is it now? See, every class in Java is a subclass of one class called as object, which we will start tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll start seeing it. Understood? So these are the members you will be getting in every class you write. But I want which member? Show. So just type yes, it will shortlist. See, it is here actually. Show A is here. Just type shortlist. Yes, automatically it will be shortlisted. Okay, it will be easy for you to search. Press enter. So now public members are visible, but the same say A dot. Only Z is visible. W is not visible. X is not visible. Y is not visible. Why? Because they are private default protected member, and I am trying to access that in other package. It will not be accessible only. Eclipse is so user friendly. But in Edit Plus, what happens? You go on coding, and when you compile, you will get error. Here it will not give the option only. So that is the benefit of this editor. Understood? So almost all coding becomes impossible without Eclipse now. Impossible. You can't code big projects. So it's mandatory you shift to Eclipse now. Mandatory it is. Without Eclipse, there is no point in coding at all. So Java is an easy language. Plus they are giving you such beautiful editors. Okay. So anyway, we'll work with show A method. Now to run the program, all I'll do is what? Control F11 shortcut is there. Okay, you can, means when you say Control F11, sometimes you will give this option. Just select Java application and say okay. You can see the output here. So it shows you the output like this. 1 second. Okay, I can execute the output now. 1 second. I'll close all this. Okay. So you can see the output in the same place itself. So this is for what? A class. Similarly, you can go on coding. B is equal to new B, which is a method name B dot show B. Call that method. So you can call now. So similarly, C is equal to new C. Finished. C dot show. What are the members? C method. Press enter. Now D is equal to new D. So your coding becomes very fast if you use this. D dot show. Two methods because it's a subclass. Show A and show D. So I'll pick show D. E is equal to new E. E dot show E. Done. So all the members we are accessing. Are you seeing it now? So we are restricted access now. We are provided a restricted access to your members. Okay. So this is how it goes now. So now you can run the output also. You can do it. Now see, in class A, we can access directly all the members, plus you can access by creating object. But in class B, in show B of class B, I can access what? Only 20, 30, 40. Default protected public directly. And by creating object 20, 30, 40 means XYZ. In class C, I cannot access any members directly. Yes or no? But I can access by creating object 3 members. Now in class D, I can access only 30 and 40 means Y and Z. But I can by creating object I can access only public member. In class C, I cannot access any member directly. But by creating object I can access only the Z member. Are you clear how you code? Any questions? Okay. So this completes access specifier. Now I'll move to the next topic, inner classes. Understood? Clear now? No questions? Okay. So now let's say inner classes. Inner classes are also known as nested classes. Inner classes are also known as nested classes. Clear? Now what is an inner class? Question if you have. Very simple. See, your class can have members, no? What are the various members your class can have? Variables, methods, constructor and all that. Okay. So inner class means it is also a member of the class now. So inner class is a class which is a member of another class. Understood? So an inner class is a class which is a member of what? Another class. So till now what were the members you are saying? Variables, blocks, constructors, methods. Correct. Now in your class you can have what? Inner classes again. So that's what we'll see now. Clear? Okay. Now there are 4 types of inner classes. There are 4 types. Which are they? First one, instance inner class. Second one would be static inner class. Third one would be method local inner class. Fourth one would be anonymous inner class. We will see the syntax. Okay, for all this one now. Simple example I'll take. Syntax I'm writing. Syntax for first one. Which one? Instance inner class. Syntax for first one, instance inner class. See, like this you can write class outer. Yes, any name you want to give, but this class can again have what? Members. You know normally how to write the members. So I'll write one member int a is equal to 10. I can have one method also, void m1 valid. Okay, but see this now, class inner, this one inner class. But this class again can have what? Members like this. Understood what is the inner class? And here I can have a method also. Your inner class also can have what? Variables, methods, everything it can have. Just I'm giving you an idea. So actually what are the members of class outer now? A, M1 method, A variable, M1 method, and inner class. The members of the class. That's how we classify it. Understood? So this is also one more possible member of the class. Now second one we'll see. Syntax for what? Static inner class. Syntax for second one, static inner class. Okay, let's see this now. Second one. So class outer, same story. Okay, there's no difference. Int a is equal to 10, void m1. You can have your members for outer class, that is normal. Okay, but now I'll have one class here called as inner, same way, but the difference would be this class becomes static. That's all. Understood? Almost all same. But behavior wise lot of difference is there. Because if you make your class as static, this is treated as what? A static context. This will be treated as static context. And now inner class can access outer class members. I'll be showing you that code now. Inner class can access what? Outer class members. Your instance inner class can access what? Instance members of outer class. But your static member inner class cannot access instance member of outer class. We'll see with the example, all these points. Okay, but you have to understand this becomes static context. This is static context. And it can access only static members of outer class. It is static context and it can access what? Only static members of outer class. Okay, anyway, this is the syntax. But again, this can have what? Members now. Int b is equal to 20. Again, you can have method called as void m2. But here what you have to understand, see this class is a static context. Now a cannot be accessed here. Supposingly in m2, if I try to use a, okay, it will be error. Why? Because it is instance member. This is error. But this context is static, but the variables what you are declaring, these are not static members. These are instance members. So your static inner class can have what? Instance members. Static inner class can have again instance members. So I'll type and show you the example itself. You'll understand this clearly. Are you clear? So are you clear with what is in a static inner class? We'll see when you work with it, you'll understand. Okay. Then next, the third one. The third one now. Okay. The third one is method local inner class. Just understand the syntax here. When I'm writing, just understand the syntax. Method local inner class. So here you'll have class outer. You can have variables. This is normal, all things, no change. Void m1 method you can have. Here see, I'm having one method now. Yes or no? Inside the method I'll write the class now. Class inner. Earlier where was your class? Outside the method. But now it is inside the method. This is also valid syntax. Okay. Again it can have what? Int b. It can have variables. Is equal to 20. Any value you want you give. That is secondary. Again you can have what? Some extra method also you can have. Void show. All like this. Now remember, method local inner classes can be used only in the same method. You cannot use method local inner class anywhere else. Where and all we'll see. Method local inner class cannot be used outside the method. It's local to the method. You define it here only, use it here only. Understood? You have to define it here only and use it inside here only. We'll show you with example. This is syntax now, again don't worry. Understood? Lastly, means I mean to say you cannot use inner class here. Inner I is equal to new inner. You cannot use it where? Outside the method. This is error. This is error. Reason is you are trying to access inner class in outside the method. If you leave it, we'll be seeing with example. Now anonymous inner class. Anonymous inner class now. See, anonymous means something without name. Something without name is called as anonymous. It's in English. Anonymous means something without any name. Okay, let's see now what happens. See, this is the syntax. I'll have an interface A. I'll have an interface A, and I'll have if an interface will definitely contain what? Abstract methods. An interface is definitely going to contain abstract method only, no doubt about it. Now how do you do the implementation? By writing class Z implements A, and now you will create object of Z, but Z is a named class. You write like this: class Z implements A, and you will override what? This is how you normally write. This is how you normally implement. But Z is having a name now. This class is having a name now. Understood? But now I'll write on class. It will not have any name only. See this how you write. The syntax you see. Class hello. Okay. Now see, I'll be having one implementation for this interface. I'll be writing one code now, which will have the implementation of what? For this abstract method. I'll write now. But it will not have name. Just see how you do it. A is an instance variable of what? Hello no. Is equal to new A. Directly I am creating object. But here, see here what we do, here only we give the implementation. Void M1 is there now. SOP inside M1. So this is the syntax of anonymous inner class. A is equal to new A. See, treat this as one object with implementation. Understood now? Treat this entire thing as what? An object with implementation. It is not a name of the class. You are directly doing the implementation, creating the object, and assigning the address of the object to what? This reference variable. So A is actually an instance variable. A is actually an instance variable. Now see this. What I'll do, after doing this implementation, now I'll have one method, void show. So what are the members of, so don't get confused. See, what are the members of hello class? 2 members. Like that you have to see. What are the 2 members, sir? A variable, show method. 2 members. But A variable has been initialized here itself. Show is the extra method. Now show method can use what? A dot M1. The implementation it can use. But it's an inner class now. Finally what is this, sir? Inner class. But without name. It's an inner class. It's a class within a class now. Okay. So that's why, but it's having not a, it doesn't have a name. So such kind of classes are called as anonymous inner class. So see, this is one style of doing the implementation. This is another style of doing the implementation. If you do the implementation like this, the class has name. If you do the implementation like this, the class does not have name. So such kind of classes are called as anonymous inner classes. So these are the 4 types of inner class. Clear? Now definitely after learning all this, your question will be where it is used, why it is used. See, one thing I'll tell you very clearly. In my experience, what I've thought and where we have coded projects and all, 99% you will not be using inner class. 99% for practical implementation means when we are coding in application point of view, we never use inner class. The next question will be yours, definitely, why am I teaching this? This is important from SCJP point of view. These inner classes are very important from SCJP point of view, but from real life point of view, means you will become developers when you are working in companies, very rarely you will use this. You will never write inner classes. Understood? That's one thing. Second thing, from the interview point of view, anonymous is very, very important. SCJP, all 4 are important. I'm not saying no. SCJP, all 4 are important. But from interview point of view, anonymous inner classes, very, very important. Many times they'll ask you, what are anonymous inner classes? Understood? They'll ask you. And this is one thing. And now, last thing. one more thing what I would say is, see, when you write inner classes, okay, when you write inner classes, the functionality of the inner class will be used, can be used outside. I'll show you. The functionality of the inner class can be used what? Outside which class? Outer class. You can use it, but it very rarely happens. If at all you write also, the functionality of that will be used by the outer class only. The functionality, like example, see here what you will do. The functionality of inner class is used where now? Inside the inner, inside the outer class, like this. Inner I is equal to new inner, and you'll call the method I dot m2, like this you'll call. Understood? So like this you go on executing. Maximum it will be used by the outer class one. Very rare cases it will be used by out. First of all you don't write. First of all you don't write. Understand that also. Okay. But even if it is written, it will be generally used by the outer class itself. And experience will guide you. Where these are used, how they are used, why they are used, experience will guide you. But just understand the language. I am teaching you the language. So I am teaching you language, I cannot show you where they are implemented practically. Okay. So all these practical implementations, when you start coding an application only, you start understanding. Clear with all this syntax? Yeah? So I'll type this and show you now. You got the rough idea about what is all this now? Okay. A class within a class is called as inner class. But important, again I am repeating. Anonymous inner class means it's an inner class without name. It's an inner class without name. That's it. All clear? So again, see, one side you are learning concept, yes or no? This itself is on concept, and on top of that you will be typing in editor now. So you should know how to use Eclipse to type this now. Two things will run parallelly. So this is where you might find bit tough. Understood? One side we are learning concept like this, heavy concept. Other side we are learning editor also. And without editor, coding all this is very difficult. Which one? Without Eclipse. So balance it. Understood? So focus on what? First, while coding you focus on the editor also, and you should focus on concept also. Both you should do. Let's see coding now. So this is where your hands will not move. Understood? Yeah, this is where your hands get stuck. So mandatory you have to type now. Else it will be difficult later stages. We are already setting the platform into the industry environment. So what I'll do, see this. Okay, we'll close this. What I'll do now, my computer, D drive, Eclipse example, go back. We are typing a new concept today now. So you create Ravi Kumar, Java examples, core Java examples. Here you create inner class. One folder you create. Understood? Every time you start, you want means workspace is nothing but one new place where you're going to type your example. Okay, so this I should separate from what? Other examples now. One workspace can have many examples, many projects. One workspace can have what? Many projects. But this project is not related with the earlier ones now. So we want to separate, like this, organize. Else you'll find it very difficult. So what is the name I'll give? Inner class. Inner classes. Fine. Now this becomes your workspace. And here what will be created? Dot metadata. So always open Eclipse where dot metadata is there. Don't open Eclipse wherever you want. You will not be able to access your project. Understood? So always dot metadata is the place where which is treated as workspace. So now copy this path. Just what you do. First time you are opening now, and you know the same old story. What it is? Welcome. So start getting used to it now. So paste the path, or you can browse. Okay, and say okay. So first time you get the welcome. Every time you open a new workspace you get this. So close it. Then you shift to what? Go here. Shift to select Java. Say OK. Once it comes, some changes happen. So change all these unwanted close all these unwanted windows. They are not required. Okay. So it will look neat and clean now. Now you can start typing projects here. Okay. Right click. New. What do you want? Java project. Understood? So here I'll type 01 instance inner class. Instance inner class. So fine, finish. See here I'm having SRC. Now again, how to give package names? I showed you typing P1, P2 now, but now this is not the way we type. Again, companies, when you go, you should give very powerful package names. Understood? In fact, the name of the package should tell the history of the class. The name of the package should tell what? The history of the classes. Who is writing that class? Means if anybody sees com.cluster, something like that, now that class means if they see any class is in com.cluster, they'll understand. Now this class was coded by some employee of cluster company. So like that we organize very neatly. Understood? So now because there are thousands of classes in Java. Now later on you will only get confused. Which class is provided by whom? Some classes are given by some people. Some classes are given by third-party people, like Hibernate, Struts and all. Some classes are given by Java people. Some classes are given by some other third-party people. Some classes we write. Now how do you identify which class is given by whom now? So see, they are following standards. That's why the classes provided by Sun are put in the Java package. Two main packages are there: Java and Java X. I'll be covering this very shortly. The classes given by some vendors like Apache company. Okay, Red Hat company, they also give some libraries, Java libraries, like Apache company gives Struts, Red Hat company gives Hibernate. Okay, so they'll give like this. So they name it very clearly, org.hibernate or org.apache. So that will be their package name. Org means it comes from an organization. So you should know these packages very clearly. Understood? Similarly, when they are taking so much pain to give a good name, you also should take a strain to give good names. And what we do is we give some good names. Initially we'll start off with normal names like com.cluster. Then it will become more elaborate, like company name, project name, module name. That deeper it will go. So we'll start off with two packages initially. Means com will be the main package, cluster will be the sub package. Are you following now? So see now, one side we are learning what? Industry standard. Carefully observe, we are learning what? Industry style of coding. Second side we are learning Eclipse. On top of that I have to code what? Inner class. So this is where, okay, this is called as transition phase or migration phase, because you are migrating from Edit Plus to Eclipse. So slowly it will take time now. Understood? So be careful, practice. Video you'll see, you'll get the output also. No problem. Understood? Not in video, you should get it outside. Outside video you see output, code and see. Okay, so new, what will I do now? Package. So what is the name? com.cluster is the package name. You'll start off with at least some better names like this. This is the package name. So here I'll write new. I want what? Class. So my class name would be what? Instance inner class demo. Correct? Huh? And do I need main method here? Yes. Okay, finish. So here public static void main will come. Now see, in this example what I will do is, okay, we'll increase the fonts here. Window preferences, editors, text editors, colors and fonts, text font 11. I'll increase one font. Okay, see here. So now see, I told you one Java file can contain any number of classes now. If you want, you can see here, I'll type it now. In this package now 2 classes will be generated. Okay, but both will be put in what? Same package. Understood? Now see this, I'm writing now. One Java file can have many packages, one Java file can have what? Many classes now. Like you are coding in Edit Plus. Same style I'm coding now. Edit Plus you are doing. But this is a wrong practice. This is last. From next, I'm just showing you today. If you want, you could have created one separate file for this also. Understood? But this one last time I'm showing you, and later on you will not do this now. And one more thing, when you have multiple classes, okay, in one Java file, when you have multiple classes in one Java file, only one class can be made as public. There are a lot of problems which come. If you write multiple classes in a single Java file, too many problems are there. All those problems, don't worry, that's why we separate what? Every class into a separate Java file. Understood? Only one public class you can have. Now what will happen? And that too, that class should be what? The class which contains the main method. Now see, I'm writing class outer. See, now these are the problems. Just I'm showing you what are the problems. If you write multiple classes in the Now it will compile, no problem. But by chance if I make this as public, see I'll get error. Now how will you use outer class in another package? Are you following now? That's why there are many problems. How will you use outer class in another package? Now I want to use it in some other package. Outer class cannot be used. Understood? You cannot import also, you cannot create the object also. Why? Because it's not allowing you to declare it as public. So one Java file can have what? Many classes, but only one should be public. And that too, which should be public mandatory now? The class which contains main. So like this we start facing problems. Understood? That's why write every class in a separate Java file. It will be very beneficial to you. Okay, you cannot use it later on outside and all that. Now fine, here one example I'll do, but from next example I just showed you the problems. Many problems will arise. So till now we were doing it, but from now we will not do it. Understood? In edit plus you add coded. Fine. Next say class outer. What are the members? Int a is equal to 10. Write your members normally now. What members you want here? Write. Next, what is the other member you want? Void m1. Fine. So I have written it. Sys out. Inside m1 of, put maximum SOPs, outer class, valid. And here I can access what? A also. There's nothing big about this. Correct now? Any questions till here? Till here any questions, sir? I have written on A, I am accessing it in what? M1, no problem. Now we'll write an inner class. See now, class inner, valid now? So what is this inner class now called as now? Instance inner class, because it is there within a class and it is not declared as static. So obviously it becomes static inner class. Sorry, instance inner class. So here I have my member int b is equal to 20. Yes, it can have members. Why do you write a class? To write members only. So inner class also can have members. Next, I'll write on method void m2. Yes, valid. See this. Sys out. I can write inside m2 of what? Inner class. Valid. No issues. But now see this. Now the inner class tries to access the members. Okay. So what members it can access? Check out. Value of b is plus b. I can do this. Value of b is plus b. B I can work. Why? Because b is a member of inner class. Fine. But can the now we'll try to use interchange. I'll try to access outer class members in inner class and inner class members in outer class. Let's see how you do it. Understood? This is okay now. All this is okay. End of the day after writing members, what do? You try to access it. Okay, so let's see how. See, I'm accessing outer class member in inner class. Sys out. Yes, now see. Val of a is plus a. So this is possible, no compilation error. But if you edit plus and all, now coding becomes very difficult. Here as soon as you save, compilation errors will be reported. But in edit plus you have to compile, see, come and debug, all big headaches are there. So that's the advantage of this editor. So here we can comment now, we can directly access outer class members in inner class. Like this you comment, you write comments. Anyway, these comments and all I'll write it and put it into what? These examples will be provided to you. You don't have to worry. Understood? So I'll write comments and do it. Just see this now. Int a is equal to 10, int b is equal to 20. Yeah. Now we accessed a where? In inner class. Now let's try to access b where? In outer class. Yeah, plus b. I am saving. The error is reported. I cannot access the inner class member in outer class directly. Cannot access what is that? Inner class member directly in outer class. Cannot access inner class. So this, you can refer to this in the examples. This will be given, soft copy will be given to you. This comments and all you can refer that. Fine. Now how do you access? I want to access what? So you have to create object. A is equal to, or with object you can create obj is equal to new. Yeah, this is possible. So this is how you access the inner class functionality in outer class. Instance, this is how you access the instance inner class functionality in outer class. Instance inner class functionality, clear? So then what will I do? Create the object, then sorry, class inner, no? Now see this, obj dot, see the list, it comes, drop down. Which memory you want to access? I can print J also, means I can access B also, and I can call M2 also. Both I can call. But let's print now. Sys out. Value of B is obj dot B. Are you following this now? Let's have to add. See, the errors are reported immediately. You don't have to go compile. These are the plenty of advantages are there. So program is ready. Now, see, this will work. There is no problem. This program is ready. Now if I want this functionality, I can use in another class. Some starting point is required now. So I am writing the client now. So this is the client. Which one? Main is the client now. So what will I do now? So what will I do? See, I have written this completely. So next what will I do? This is how you can access outer class functionality. Outer class functionality. How will you do? Outer, you know how to do it. Outer O is equal to new outer. I just want to call M1 method of outer class, man. So what will you do? You know normal how you work. So this is very easy for you. O dot the member. Which one? I want to call M1 method. Fine. It will execute. No issues. But now, how do you access inner class functionality? How do you access it? So now see, inner class functionality means I want to call M2 method. I want to call what? M2 method. Now notice, with O, I cannot call inner class functionality. It give me error. Correct only, no? What members you can access from the object depends on what? The type of variable. How can you access M2 with O variable? Not possible. So this is error. Okay. So now how do you access inner class functionality? So see this. Inner, see, one way is you can do like this. Okay, inner I. Okay. Inner, any variable name you give. Okay, I is equal to O dot. Okay, and I'll say new. This is a special syntax. New outer dot. One second. No, one is there. One more is there. Just 1 second. Inner I is equal to 1 second. See, this is there normal. I am trying for a shortcut here. Inner I is equal to new outer dot new inner. This is valid. Huh? 1 second. That syntax is here. That syntax is here. I'll just get it. outer dot inner. Okay. So syntax will go like this: outer dot inner I is equal to outer dot inner is equal to O dot new inner, or again outer dot inner. This is I1 I take, this I'll take I2. Some variable name you change. So this is valid. See, one means here what I have done, I am using the reference variable of which one? The outer object. Object of outer class dot new inner. This is the syntax. Other one would be what? Outer dot inner I2 is equal to directly here new inner dot new outer dot new inner. So once you create the object, now you can call I1 dot what? M2 method. Yes, valid. Or you can call it with I2. With one is shortcut man, that's it. Other one is long cut. So whichever you want, you can choose M2. Yeah. So focus on this output. Which one? This output you focus now. This you know. There is no issue. O dot M1 is no issue now. With O I can call what? M1 method. Okay. First I'll show you that. First I'll show you accessing what? Outer class functionality. See this now. Right click. Run as Java application. Okay. So inside M1 of outer class, A I am accessing. A is member of what? Outer class. B is member of what? Inner class. Yes, very neatly you are accessing. How did you access it? But by creating object. This is done. Okay. Next we'll check out with inner class functionality. Okay, this one should be uncommented. Okay, now see, inner class functionality. Which method gets executed? M2. Now I am calling M2 twice. Just check out. Valid. Now M2 is getting executed. Done? Okay. So this is how you can write an instance inner class. So shall we continue with the next one? Static inner class. Close this. Okay, now I can write that also in the same place here. But organize things properly. Here I can write what? New class, I can write it off. But what I'll do, I'll create a new project only. Right click, new Java project, 02 static inner class. I'll write 02 static inner class. Finish. Almost. Now see, I'll have new package com dot cluster valid. Give some good package names like this. Now this time I will not write both the classes in the same file. From now I will start off writing it in separate files. I will start off now. Understood? I just showed you an example with what? Two classes in the same file I showed you, but from now we will not write. So new, what I will do? Class, what is that? Static, sorry, we will name it as inner. Sorry, we will name it as outer class. Class outer. 1 second, let me, before I proceed, okay. This is outer class. I am giving the name. So outer class has been stored in this particular file now. Fine. Let me 1 second. Just we'll go back, revisit the previous example. So in previous example, what you do? See here. Right click. You can go to the location of the file. Properties. Okay. Select this. Now I just want to show you when you compile how many dot class files get generated for when an inner class is there. Control V. So now see, I'm pasted. I'm going to bin com cluster. Bin contains what? Dot class file now, and you can see here. Okay, which one? One Java file was there in your program. How many Java files were there? How many Java files were there? Only one. Outer and two were two classes. Sorry, outer is one class. Inner is inner class, and demo was another class. So actually, if you see, only two classes are there, but one is the inner class. And how many dot class files have been generated? 3. One for demo, one for outer. And look how the inner dot class gets generated. Outer dollar, that's the syntax. Outer dollar, inner dot class, that's the syntax. Okay, so this is what is an instance inner class now. So this is a very important thing to notice. Now finally, let me complete of what is this instance inner class. Then I'll go to static inner class. Now see, inner class is a class and is a member of Another class, basically it's a class. Inner class is basically what? Is a class and is a member of another class. Next, inner classes are also known as what? Nested classes. Yes, generally inner class functionality will be used by outer class only. Yes, see, inner class functionality will be used by what? Outer class functionality, generally. Understood? Like see here, O dot M1 I call now. What will M1 do now? M1 method will use the functionality of inner class. It's very rare that you use the inner class functionality in another class, outside the class. Very rare. Okay, but if at all you want, you can use it, but it's very rare. Okay, are you clear with this? So it's always the outer class which uses the functionality of inner class. Done? Fine. Next, if you want, you can access. I'm showing you how to do it. I'm showing you how to do it here, but this is very rarely done. Next, there are 4 types of inner class: instance inner class, static inner class, method local inner class, anonymous inner class. Now see the instance inner class. Let's come to this point now. All the outer class members can be accessed inside the inner class directly. Yes or no? You can access all the outer class members in the inside class directly. Next point. All the inner class members cannot be accessed inside the outer class directly, but by creating an object. Okay, next point. We cannot access inner class and its members outside the outer class directly. Means you want to access what? Inner class member outside the outer class directly you can't access. So to access the inner class member outside the outer class, what you do? See, if you want to access inner class functionality outside the outer class, you have to create the object for inner class with the following special syntax. What is the syntax? I showed you just now the syntax. This is one syntax, other one would be this syntax. Understood? Next means outer dot inner, OI is the variable name, new, outer, object you are creating and calling the constructor, dot, new, you are calling inner and the constructor like this. Done? Fine. Next, we can't access outer class members outside the outer class with inner class reference variable. You can't access outer class members also with inner class reference variable. Done. Lastly, when we compile then two dot class files will be created for both inner class and outer class, 2 dot class files. See, one would be outer dollar inner class, one more would be outer dot class. 2 dot class files will be generated, one for outer class, one for inner class. But inner class it will be having dollar, outer dollar, inner dot class. Clear? So this completes what? Instance inner class. Next we'll take static inner class. Yes. Public class outer, next we'll see. Here, we'll go for full screen. Now see this. Class outer will have what? Int a is equal to 10. Valid. Same thing I'll add. Void m1. Inside m1 of outer class. Fine. Next, inside m1 method of outer class. Fine. Leave this and we'll print the value of a. Done. Okay, this is normal. We don't have any issues with this. Now I'll be writing on class inner, same thing, but the story starts off like this. It is going to be made as static. Almost all same topic, but now the class has been made as static. Now what will I do here? I can declare one variable normally. This you declare, that's your wish, like earlier. Okay. Now in M2, what will I try to do? I'll try to access outer class functionality. Now in instance, what was happening? Instance inner class, you can directly access it. Now see this. First we'll access what? Sys out inside M2 of inner class. Okay, valid. This is valid. What will I try to do? Sys out. Now see, value of B is fine. Inner class member, you can access it here. You can access it here. Understood? But if I try to access A here, it will not be possible. I am trying to access what? Now the thing is, we are trying to access, okay, the outer class functionality. First, you see like that in the inner class. But the thing is, this is a static inner class. So in a static inner class, this area, this entire area becomes static context. Static context. Now static context can access only what? Static members. But A is not a static member, yes or no? So you can see the error is reported here itself. Cannot make a static reference. Understood? Means to a non-static field or something it will tell you. So errors will be reported. So this is error now. So to just make you understand, what I'll do, I'll add one static member here. Static int y is equal to some value, give 55. Fine. Now see, I'll try to access what? Y here. Value of y is plus y. It's not giving me error. So we can access static members of outer class and inner class directly. Directly you can do it. Done? Okay. Now what about, now see here. Now what about inner class members in outer class? Now we studied how to access outer class members in inner class. Now we'll go ulta. What? We'll access inner class member in outer class. So let's see how you do it. See this. For again you have to create object for this also. A obj, sorry, inner. Obj is equal to new inner. Fine. I can print sys out value of, see here, I'm accessing what? B there. B, I can access how? Plus, yes, with object normal dot, how you are accessing earlier? Object dot B. This is valid. Understood? You can access it. But look carefully here. Now I told you one thing. This context, this area is static context. So here you can access only static members of outer class. But doesn't mean that B is static now. It's an instance member still. So that is why I created the object and accessed. That is why I am creating the object of inner class and accessing. If at all, see here, now notice carefully, if at all you want a static member explicitly in static inner class, write it. Static int y is equal to 66. Valid. Static inner class can have what? Static member also. Now how do you access this member in another class? Yeah, directly with class name. Value of y is plus what? Inner dot y. I am not creating object. Notice. Done now. Simple as this. Almost all same. Understood? But you should be careful. This is static context. That's it. Understood? And if you are having a static member here, that can be accessed with class name. That's it. Yeah? So now let's write the client code for this. Now where will you write the client code? See now there are two classes. Okay, so I'll write right click new class. Okay, yes, static inner but it's in the same package. Yes, getting it now? I will write. So two Java files are there. Notice now in this project, you close this. How many .java files are there? Outer.java, like this. Okay, so like this you have to go on coding. This is how you use Eclipse now. This is industry standard. So don't practice in your old rubbish style. What? In one Java file only write all classes. Later on you can't reuse it. Again and again you'll be typing and wasting time. So better make it a habit from now itself by putting every class in a separate Java file. You can't import, nothing you can do later. Understood? So fine, next. See this, I'll create the object. Outer. See now I'll access what? We'll access outer class functionality. How do you do it? Outer O is equal to new outer. This is normal. You don't have any issues here. Understood? O dot M1 method. This is normal. It will execute also. And M1 is accessing what? Notice. Now you have to shift the file to see the code. Because one is in one Java file, other is in Java file. So go to outer.java. See here, you are calling which method? M1 now. So it's accessing B and Y of what? Inner class. Fine, you are seeing that output here. See here. B and Y output. Yes or no? B and Y are members of what? Inner class. B I accessed by creating object. Y I accessed with class name. That's it. So then next, other one. How do you create now? Here only one syntax. Outer dot inner. Okay. OI is equal to new outer dot inner is the syntax. Only one syntax. Only one syntax for what? Static inner class. Okay. Do not try this one. This will not work. This is not there. O dot new inner will not work for this. Understood? Earlier I tell you now for instance inner class. This will not work for this because here O dot inner you have to tell. Yes or no? What is the syntax you have to tell? O dot inner. But you will not get the drop down only. O dot. You get error. You cannot. This is the wrong syntax. So only one syntax for what? Static inner class, and this is the only way. Do it. Now you are accessing what? Inner class functionality in a different class. Done? Okay. So now after creating this object, now I can access OI dot M2 method. That's it. Now we'll comment M1 and we'll see that output. Finished now? Try it out. Here. Now the document for which one? Static inner class. So when you write static inner class, when you write inner class as static, then that inner class area becomes static context. The variables and methods of the inner class will not become automatically static. Yes or no? Okay. See, it means to say that when you write inner class, this becomes static context. But the members of this class are not static. If you want explicitly, you have to write it. That's the meaning of that. See, the variables and methods of the inner class will not become automatically static. If you want them as static, then you need to write that member of the inner class as static. Okay. Then next, if you want to access the static members of the static inner class in the outer class, then you can access them directly with class name. Directly with class name. Getting it? Then, if you want to access instance members of the static inner class in the outer class, then you have to create the object of inner class and access. Okay. If you want to access outer class members inside the static inner class, then those members must be static. Instance members of outer class are not allowed inside static inner class. So you are not allowed. Which one? See here, A is not allowed because it's a instance member of outer class. But Y is allowed because it's a, sorry.
Y is there in the outer class.
Y is in outer class. I can access Y of outer class because it is static. Okay. So just go through all this. Now, if you want to access inner class functionality outside the outer class, okay, you need to create the object of inner class with the following special syntax. Like this only you have to create. Done. Next. That's about which one? Static inner class. Next we'll go to what now? Method local inner class. It's very simple now. So we'll finish it fast. And again, two dot class files will be generated for outer.java. One outer.class, one outer dollar inner dot class. Check it out. Okay, so now you can close all files. Go back. Now see new. Understand how I'm organizing files? It will be neat, clear for you. Which one you want, you can immediately open. So new Java project. Which one? 03. What? Method local. See the names all in small case. No caps, no. Which one? Project name should be always small. Method local inner class. new project, fine. So again, com.cluster, new package. Here, which one? Class name will be outer dot, or you can give, yeah, I'll give the name as outer dot Java. Fine. Sorry, no, you don't give the extension here. Class outer, finish. Sorry, it was having that main selected. Now see this, everything normal goes on, there's no doubt about this. Done. Int a is equal to 10 now. Next what I'll do? Void m1. This is normal, you know how to write. So this is fine, and you can also access its a member. This is okay, we don't have any issues with this. Now look into the m2 method, void m2. Void m2. Now here, what I'll do, I'll write sysout inside m2 of what? Class outer only, it's of class outer class only. Understood? And here we'll write a class now. I'm writing the class where? Inside the method. Class inner. So this is called as method local inner class. Done? Again, if it's a class, what will it have? Members. Int b is equal to 20. Again it can have what? Method void m2. And now okay, void m2 sysout inside m2 method. Fine. Then sysout. See, I'll access outer class members here. Val of a is, yes, highly valid, no issues, we can access. So always all your outer class members can be easily accessed where? Whether it is instance or whether it is static or whether it is method local. All your outer class members can be easily accessed in inner class directly like this. This is not a problem. Okay, now you have written inner class. Yes or no? You have to use it now. Where will you use it? Question is that now. You have to use it in M2 method only, no other place. It's very clearly told, method local inner class. So after defining it, first define it and then use, correct? So see, you have defined it. Now you can create the object in M2 method itself. You are creating the object of inner class where? In M2 method itself. A object is equal to new a valid code. Sorry, inner object is equal to new inner, correct? So after that I can call the method. Which one? Object dot which one? M2 method. No, wait, what is the method name? Sorry, don't write M2 here. Give a different name. Okay, void show. Different name you give. Inside show method. Show is the member of which one? Inner class. So obj dot show. Done? So this is how you have to use it. If you don't write these two lines, your inner class will never be used. Method local inner class will never be used. I show you now. So let's write the client code first. Let's write the client code. Right click, new class, method local inner class demo, method local inner class demo, finish. So okay, see outer O is equal to new outer, this is fine. I can create the object and I can call O dot M1. M1 method I can execute and M1 will print when as it is. There is nothing in M1, see there. What is there in M1 method? It will print value of A, nothing is there. Okay, so you can see the output also. M1 we don't have any issue, but let me call M2 method. So what is M2 method doing? It will execute, fine, it will define the class also, but that class is not getting used, that's it. I'm not using it. So if at all I want to use it, I have to create the object and see first M2 output, you see what it prints. Only inside M2 it prints. It's not getting used. So if at all you want to use it, what you do? Create the object like this and then use it. Are you following? Yes, now it will work. See now show method is getting executed. But where was it used? It was created in the same place and in the M2 method only and used. Clear? Okay. Next, few more things to understand. So now see this. Object.show. Now these two lines I am using after defining the class. Yes or no? I am creating the object. See, I am creating the object of inner class in M2 method only, using it, all that fine. But I am using that after defining the class. So, see, always remember, use method local inner class inside same method only after what? Class definition. Here only you have to use. By chance if I try to use it before only, so I'll cut it. I'm using it before, but in the same method only, error. Because without defining, how will you use? You can't use before defining something. So first you define and then use. Clear? Error. Then next. Okay, what I'll do? I'll try to use it in another class, another method. Another method. This is also error. Method local. You can use it only in the same place. So that's how it has been done. And now see, this functionality cannot be used outside the class at all directly. Method local inner class functionality cannot be used outside the outer class. You have to come to what? M2 only can access the inner class functionality now. O dot. See here, how am I accessing it? Now bring it back. Here only I have to use it. So to use it, what I should do? O dot M2 only I have to tell. There is no other option for it. Call M2 method. M2 method will create define inner class, create object of inner class, and use the functionality of inner class. So method local inner class functionality cannot be used in outside the class, outside the outer class. Understood? At any cost you can't use it. Done? Now some more points about this. Method local inner class. Our class which is declared inside a method is called as what? Method local inner class. When you define a class inside a method that is accessible within that method only. Just now I was telling you. A method local inner classes cannot be used outside the method where they are defined. One statement over. It cannot be used outside the method. Next. They can only be used in the same method after the class definition. Clear? Okay. Last, anonymous inner class now. Anonymous inner class. New package com dot cluster finish. Okay, see now I'll have one interface. It'll have the name as A finish and it'll have one method called as void M1. Valid, no? Any questions here? No. Now generally what do? You have one class implementing this interface now. So they are named classes. Now see this. What will I do? Right click, new, class. I'll write hello. Hello class I am doing. And I'll write finish. Hello class is there. Okay. 1 second. Remove it. Now say A is what? Instance variable. As which are interface, it's an instance variable, is equal to new A. New A, I'll start giving the body here itself. And you have to terminate anonymous inner class with semicolon. Compulsory it is. It is mandatory to terminate because it's on full line, one definition it is. Understood? So you have to terminate. Now the error will go. But you have to give the body also. Public void M1. Inside inside hello M1 method. Done. Valid code, this is highly valid code. So what is exactly happening here now? See, this was an interface. Now this is the implementation for the interface, yes or no? But you are doing the implementation, yes, agreed. But you are doing are you doing the implementation in any class? Are you doing the implementation in any class? No. Directly what you are doing, you are creating the object here and doing the implementation there itself. So you are doing the implementation, creating the object, and the address of that object is assigned to what? The reference variable. See, 3 things are happening here. You are doing the implementation, you are creating the object, and at the same time you are giving the address of that object to this variable. 3 things are happening at the same line. Understood? Fine. Now where can I use this? Now see this. Void show. Now what happens? I can use it now. So what are the members of hello class? That you see first. Hello class members are, one is A instance variable, another one is show method. So inside show of class hello, fine. Now see, A dot, I can access the member what? M1. Following? A dot M1. This is correct. Now I can write the client code for this, yes or no? So A is an interface, separate file. Hello is a class, separate file. Now the client code, another separate file. See here, new class. Okay, anonymous client demo. I need public static void main. Fine. Now see this. Now what is the class name? Hello. H is equal to new hello. And I'll call which one? H dot M1 method. Sorry, which is a method? Show method, no? Show method. Yes, it will execute. Now show method will call what? M1 method. You are calling show, but show of hello is calling what? M1, the implementation. Valid. Now one more. See, the functionality can be called the functionality of the anonymous inner class. Functionality of anonymous inner class can be used in another class also. How? H dot A is the instance variable now. Dot M1. Valid code. Is also valid. This is functionality of anonymous inner class. So it's called as anonymous inner class because it's a class which is having no name. That's it, simple. So I'll comment this h dot show, but only which one will execute? M1 will execute. So generally when you write anonymous inner classes, you override the method like this. Understood? You override the methods like this. Not only that, see now, more things we'll see. I'll right click, new class this time. Okay, and I want it to be an abstract class. What is that I want? Abstract. Here I'm just clicking the button. Now what I want? What should be the name of the class? B. Understood? And I don't want public static void main. Fine. So class is ready. Now here I'll have one method, void m2. Done. Sorry, but for abstract class you should mandatory write abstract. Now see, what will hello do now? Hello can implement that also. What will it do now? B is equal to new. Don't think you write which one? Anonymous classes only for interface. You can override any method. You can override even abstract method of abstract class also. New B valid. Now void m2. Valid. Again, why it's error? Why this error? Semicolon, your favorite. And I can access that functionality inside the same class. How? B dot m2. Valid. Now run the code. I'll call which one? Only show here. You can access it outside also. See here. h dot a dot m1. We first will call show method and see. So m1 and m2 both are getting executed. Show, I called show. Show is calling m1 of a and m2 of b. Yes or no? Show is calling what? m1 of a and m2 of b. Done. So then you can access it, the functionality directly outside also. See this. h dot b dot m2. This is also valid. You can access the functionality of anonymous inner class in outside the class also. Done? Because it's an instance event. Not only interface and which one? Abstract class now. I can have one more class only. See this, I can override the method of a concrete class and make it as anonymous. So I'll have class C, finish. So it's a concrete class and I'll have void m3 method. Sys out inside m3 of C class. But I don't want this logic. So what will I do? I can write an anonymous class for this also. You can write a subclass and override. That is what you have to decide now. Whether you'll write a subclass and override or whether you'll write anonymous class and override. Okay. That will come to you with experience. Till now we are overriding, writing subclasses and overriding all that you learned. But now we are overriding in anonymous. Maximum you do that only. You always write subclasses and override. I am telling you, very rarely you write inner classes. So don't worry too much. But this is possible. I am showing you what is possible. So how you write now? C is equal to new C. Again brace semicolon. This is the syntax you have to use. Now override void m2. Sys out inside hello. Sorry, I have written m. I'll make it as m3. Inside hello m3 method. Now CM3 will not execute. Understood? Hello M3 will execute. We are having in C class what? M3 of C class, that will not execute. Instead, hello M3 will execute. Now see this. C dot M3. Okay. See this. Are you following? Next, if I want, I can access it directly outside also. H dot C dot M3. Is valid. Are you clear? Any questions here? Anonymous inner class. Fine. Some notes for anonymous inner class now. Inner classes declared without any class name are called as anonymous inner class. Anonymous inner class implementation is nothing but writing a subclass. That subclass is itself anonymous class. For it means you will be writing it for what? An existing class, or you can write it for abstract class or interface without a name, and you will override the method. Lastly, anonymous inner classes are written for overriding the methods. Anonymous inner class are written for what? Overriding the methods. When we are defining anonymous inner class, in the same line only, object will be created and will assign the reference to the superclass reference variable. In the same line only, object will be created and implementation also will be done. Done? Fine? Okay, fine. Next, one more example we will see for nested interface. Nested interface. Your question is, see, till now your class was having what? Class. But can a class have an interface? Question is that now. Can a class have a interface? Let's see. Right click, Java project 05 nested interface. New class. I'll go a class name. Okay, package name you can directly give here. com.cluster. Directly you can give it here itself. Finish. So in a public class, what I will do? Interface. I'll write hello. Understood? Now see this. I should have one method now. Void M1 method. And your interface should be compulsory public. Sorry, I'm giving this brace here. It should be public. Okay, fine. This is done now. So you have written so class A is having what member? Check it out. It's having on inner member. That's it. You can have variables and all that. I'm not focusing. So it's having on inner interface. Now what will class B do now? See this. You write another class, new class B. Okay. And this will implements what you know? What? A dot hello. This is how it goes. Are you understanding the syntax of this? Now you have to override what? Void M1. You are implementing it. But how did I implement? A dot hello, I am telling. Understood? That's the syntax. Sys out inside M1 of class B. Why error? Yeah, public. Fine. Now you can write the client for this. Nested interface. Demo. How do you create the objects here? You got it now? See this. I'll create the object. A dot. The list is coming. Hello. AH is equal to new. Which class? B is the concrete class. Yes or no? Class B is implementing it. I'll call AH dot M1 method. Finished. See, it's like this. A class is there. It's having an inner interface. B is there. It's having M1 method implementation. Now what is this main doing? Creating an object of hello, but it is referring to which object? The implementation class B. Understood? And I'm calling the M1 method. So fine. This will execute now. No issues. Nested means a class can have a inner interface also. So like this story will go on now. What can have what can have what. Do not bother too much about this. Practically we don't use it in applications. Practically. But from SCJP point of view it is important. And we'll see how much is required. I'll exactly cover from SCJP point of view. And you can clear that exam also. I'll use some real examples which actually come in what? SCJP. If you learn that much, that is more than sufficient. Those example if you learn, more than sufficient. Okay. Lastly, some questions now. How many inner class can I have inside the outer class? Any number of inner class can be written inside the outer class. Now, are there, if there are two inner classes A and B, can I write B extends A in inner class? Possible. You can do inheritance of what? Inner classes also. Now, can I write interface inside a class? Just now I showed you. You can write an interface inside a class. Now, can I write inner class inside an interface? Inner class inside an interface. Yes, that is also possible. In an interface, you can write what? Inner class. Can I write interface inside an interface? Yes, that's also possible. You can write an interface inside interface. These two you can look out for examples. I have not given examples for these two. Clear? So this completes inner class. Any questions? That's it then.